Oh, shout out to Jezebel. I know we're going to have a good session. She always talks.
That's so sweet. I was so sad to miss last week because we got called into a meeting. And I'm like, no.
No. Yeah, we missed you.
How have you been? How was your week so far?
So far, so good. I went out and bought flowers for my garden this morning. So
that's so nice.
Yes, that's
a
good.
Great day to plant later this afternoon.
Yes, something to look forward to. And I realized, I think it was subliminal. I bought a whole bunch of flowers, pink, this color with frills. And the lady where I checked out, she said, "Do you know you match all your flowers?" And I went, "Oh, no, actually I didn't." So
it's in the spirit. That's the best part.
Right. It just came out. So welcome everyone. Thank you for saying hello in the chat. Well, I'll give you in 2 minutes, some directions for sharing, but we're going to get started right at 2:30 today. And welcome if you're joining for the first time, we're happy to have you. If you're a regular like Jezebel, we're happy to have you, or anywhere in between. I really like doing these developments on social emotional learning. I feel like it's so good for all of us right now. So welcome. Show you this, make sure you are in the right place. And I'm going to look and see if my admin has come. I have a wonderful person who always helps me. Are you out there, Brooke? Have you shown up yet? Not yet. All right, we'll be fine. I'm going to turn on my ceiling fan and we'll get started. Before the professional development session, I get an email that tells me how many people are registered. So today, like 550 people are registered. Now, it's never that many that come, but I'm always interested to see how many do get to show up. Right now, we have 50.
You do it on the chat.
All right, it's 2:30, so let's get started. You are here at How to Create the Social Emotional Learning Classroom. And we have 1 hour to do that, so we better get going. Just so you know, this is being recorded and you will receive the recording later along with an email with your CTLE credit. So know that information usually comes the next day. But I just want you to be aware, it's very helpful if you have your camera on, especially when we go into breakout rooms. But if you don't want to be videoed the whole time, I totally understand. Here are our meeting norms. Take a minute to read them. And I'm going to start with the blue one. I will start and end us on time. And thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule to join us today. I know you have a lot going on in your lives, especially as the school year starts to come towards its close. So good work coming here to learn some information about how to possibly make that go a little smoother. I'll introduce myself and then ask you to do the same. I am Dr. Caroline Hoppenwasser. I'm an instructional consultant with SEL, who is providing this free professional development today. And it is through a grant from New York State for teaching across learning environments. So it's taking the best of what we learned from the pandemic and trying to bring it and incorporate it into all aspects of what our teaching, whether it's fully in person, fully online, or some hybrid. I'm a literacy educator, and I've prepared literacy educators for 14 years at the State University of New York. And before that, I was a public school teacher. So I know how exciting the end of the school year is for everyone. Hang in there. If you have not done so already in the chat, I see some of you have. Please tell us the grades you teach and the subjects you teach, and then in the spirit of social emotional learning and creating a positive community, tell us something that's making you happy today. It could be something teensy, it could be something big. I shared earlier, I bought some flowers to plant in my garden later today. So that is what I am happy about. So please let us know. I'm looking in the chat. My student wanted a hug randomly today, and it was so sweet. It made me happy. That is wonderful. I'm sorry that went by so fast. I didn't get to say who said it, but I'm going to try to. Allison says, I just celebrated my birthday and my daughter's the same week. Wonderful. I'm seeing we have all different kinds of grade levels here and subject matter experts. Just celebrated my 1-year birthday yesterday. Oh, very nice. My eldest baby graduated from college. Oh my gosh, we have some people at the beginning of their journey and some people the end of their educational journey. That's so exciting. Okay. Edwina, I want what you have. She has her house getting cleaned by a company today while she's at work. Yes, good for you. Oh, we have someone here, Lisa, who's home recovering from surgery and feeling better. I'm so glad. Thank you for joining us.
Are you on the same thing?
So I'm seeing some people say they did not receive their certificate for last Monday. The last slide of our PowerPoint has my email address. I don't see my admin here yet, but you can, if you email me that, I will forward it to her and we will make sure that happens. But one of the things that happens while people don't get their stuff is they haven't logged in with the email that they registered with. So if you're not logged in with the email you registered with, that can be a problem. So if you want to log out and log back in, matching, that's helpful in making sure you get your materials. All right. So thank you. I'm sorry, Sandra. Were you speaking to me? Okay. Well, let's get.
Excuse me, before we go any further, I have a little technical problem here. Where is supposed to be Joseph Bello, I see is my principal name there. Where it says Daniel Lam, it's supposed to be my name here. See, it's me. My name is Joseph Bello, but it says Daniel Lam.
Okay. So one thing you can do is if you see the little dots in the corner of your box, the 3 little dots, if you click on it, you can go and rename yourself.
Or you could rename yourself on the bottom.
I will rename. I will try to rename it.
Okay, and if you still have trouble, we can talk about it at the end to make sure that you get the credit that
He also
your
seems
name.
to be logged in twice, like either on a pad and a laptop or.
Yeah, we'll figure it out later. But don't worry, we will figure it out. But let's get going on our agenda today while you're continuing to read some happy things. Today, when my 3-year-old students decided to pretend it was a birthday and started singing happy birthday to me, I asked how old I am now, and they said I'm turning 4 like them, and it made me laugh out loud. Yes, at least that's so wonderful about those little people. All right, so we have one big essential question today, and that is, how can we help our students build social emotional learning skills? So I have a lot of resources for that today that we'll look at whole group, and also you'll have a chance to explore. And our objectives are to identify the key components of social emotional learning in the classroom and explore techniques for those components. So here we go.
Thank you.
Now you're Joseph. So cool. That's excellent. So here is your note catcher.
Yeah, I fix it.
Wonderful. I'm going to put your note catcher in the chat, your note catcher. What is that? If you haven't been here before, it is your one-stop shop to everything that we're going to use today. So open it and make a copy. And you will see at the very beginning a link to the slides from today's presentation. We're about to watch a little video. You have places to take notes. So everything we do today is here. And that will help you navigate today's session. It will also be sent to you again if you lose this link, because we know things happen. And I will continue to put it into the chat for people coming in. But let's get started with a short video. It's just about 3.5 minutes. That's going to talk about what are the components. If you were here last week, we talked about the Castle 5, and this is going to go a little more in depth, thinking about what are the actual components of social emotional learning that we want to develop with students of all ages.
Did you know that there are a set of skills that are equally as important as teaching math, science, English language arts, history, and others? As a matter of fact, many education and psychology researchers have deemed these to be the most important skills we can teach because they are the foundation for any learning to take place. These are SEL skills. SEL stands for Social and Emotional Learning, which consists of a set of skills that help us become self-disciplined, manage our emotions, work well with others, and achieve all our goals in life. A multitude of research studies show time and time again that students strong in SEL will thrive in all areas of their lives, including their academics, career, mental and physical health, relationships, finances, and so on. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, also known as CASEL, is a trusted source for high-quality information about SEL. They support schools and policymakers around the nation with tools and resources to support the implementation of high-quality SEL. CASEL has identified 5 social and emotional learning competencies. Self-awareness is the ability to accurately recognize your own emotions, thoughts, and values, and understand how they influence your behavior. It includes identifying emotions, accurate self-perception, recognizing strengths, weaknesses, self-confidence, and self-efficacy. Self-management involves self-discipline in regulating your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations so you can reach your goals. It includes impulse control, stress management, self-discipline, self-motivation, goal setting, and organizational skills. Social awareness is the ability to empathize and understand the perspectives of others, including those from diverse backgrounds and cultures, and understand social and ethical norms for behavior. Relationship skills involve communication skills, conflict resolution, and working with diverse groups of people and ideas. And responsible decision-making involves making good decisions, taking into account the impact of your choices on yourself, others, and your community. It includes identifying problems, analyzing situations, solving problems, evaluating, reflecting, and ethical responsibility. The red skills are related to the self. The blue are social skills, and when you integrate these, you make responsible decisions. The Mindset Mastery SEL curriculum addresses these 5 competencies comprehensively. We also include 4 new skills that support the learning and long-term retention of the 5 CASEL competencies: authenticity and self-compassion, living with purpose, effective thinking, and empowering beliefs and habits. We will discuss these 4 in the next section.
Okay, so those are, we're going to go to the next slide to review here the big pieces of social emotional learning. You have the 2 parts that directly relate to the self, managing yourself, self-management and self-awareness. You have the ones that directly relate to dealing with other people, social awareness and relationship skills. And then you have this green, which is kind of encompasses it all. Can I make really good decisions? And that's knowing myself and being able to integrate that socially with others. So, adults who can't do these things at all. And that everyone at some time struggles with some part of this. So one of the things that needs to happen is that from the teeniest, tiniest people we get in our classrooms all the way up forever, we're working on improving these skills. So how do we do that in our classroom? And one of the things I asked last session, if you were here, and if you weren't, I'm going to ask it again. Did you know that New York State has benchmarks for social emotional learning that are expected to be going on in our classes? And so you can say yes or no in the chat. Last week, a lot of people said no, they had no idea that we actually had benchmarks. So that's something that you can look up pretty easily. But the Castle 5 is aligned with these benchmarks. And it's so important. I have it in multiple classes because you have self-awareness and self-management are part of the New York State benchmark goal number 1. So we have in New York State, it is part of our curriculum that we're supposed to be helping children learn to be self-aware, aware of others, and be responsible decision makers. And the reason this knowledge is so important for you is because sometimes you may have had this experience when you're saying, I have to take time to teach the children SEL. People say that's touchy-feely. That's not our curriculum. That's not what we do. It is what we do. It's part of what we do. And if we don't do it, we can't do any of the other parts of what we do. So just know that this is available for you. There are benchmarks, easy to find the entire thing for New York State. So let's look into these. We're going to spend some time with each of these sections today, some as a whole group, and then you'll be able to choose one to look into deeper. So let's explore this strategy today to sort of check in on ourselves. This is a self-awareness strategy, and it's called Rose, Bud, and Thorn. And I really like it. And it's something you can do really fast with children of all ages and with yourself to help check in on where we are and where we're going. So we're going to do it together. There's a place for you to type in your note catcher, which I'm putting in the chat again right now. So you're going to have one rose, something positive that happened this week. And so we're on Monday. So you can say something positive that happened last week or something positive that's coming, however you want to figure it out. A bud is something that you're looking forward to. A thorn is something that you need help with. And then we try to think, how are we going to turn one thorn into a rose over the course of the week? So take a moment for yourself and use the chart I've provided on your note catcher to do this activity. I'm going to give you 2 minutes on the timer, and then we'll debrief either in the chat or you can talk to me about it. Oops, excuse me. So on the note catcher, it looks like this and has a place for you to write if you would like. Robin says they do this every Monday with the 5th graders. That's amazing. Robin, I'd love to hear about how the 5th graders respond to that over time. What changes you've noticed?
So we started doing it from September, and we do it. They have the SEL notebook. And so every Monday when they come in, we put on the board, they do it automatically. They're ready for us. And so they have to write what a rose was, a bud, a thorn. And we even asked them, something they can share with the class that was positive over the weekend. And we have much success. We learned a lot about our students, okay? So this is a great activity, and it's quick. It's just 5 minutes. They get out their SEL notebooks. We have a student that puts them on the desk in the morning, and they write a rose, a bud, and a thorn. And we find out so much about our students. You know, some of them tell us, you know, they didn't have a great weekend. We all try to pitch in and help them out, ask them why. And if it's something really, really serious, we let the guidance counselor know, and we all work together as a team. The whole 5th grade team, we do it every morning.
I want y'all to know I did not pay Robin to say this message. She does.
No,
This is
you do this.
amazing.
I
That's
can bring my whole
amazing.
5th grade team here, and they can tell you it's very successful. And even we find out when students they had a bad weekend, and if we see the 5th grade team that's something really serious, we refer them, you know, to the guidance counselor, and let them know about it.
That's
So this is a good
amazing,
thing.
Robin. Thank you for sharing that.
Welcome.
That's the power of it. You get to know so much more about your classroom, and they get to know so much more about each other. And it becomes a place where people take care of each other. And in that kind of environment, learning can happen. Because if Robin and her team don't take care of whoever had something bad happen to them over the weekend, how are they supposed to come in on Monday and be ready to learn? They're not. It's just not how our brains are designed. If you want to know more about the science of it, the social emotional learning A session, which will come around again, talks about the why that it's science, it's brain science of why that works. So I see some people putting some things that have happened that are great for them. So does anyone mind sharing a thorn and throw it open to how we might turn that into a rose this week? Because that's also part of the problem solving. It's not just, let's look at what's good and what's bad. It's like, how do we transform it? What are we doing to change it?
Yeah. So a little maybe off topic, because it's not, well, it is a thorn, but so we're gonna have a new curriculum come September. And I'm really anxious because I was looking forward to really organizing my centers and stuff before the summer and purging. So that's just a thorn. I don't know what to expect in terms of requirements and what we're going to do so that I can act accordingly. So that is a thorn. And I'm hoping to turn it into a rose by being able to create some type of goals or, that are relative to that new curriculum so that I can act accordingly. Because it's tough starting a year brand new when you're just being given the curriculum at the same time. So.
Oh, yes. I guarantee everyone on this call has been in the same place, and that is hard. So just the part where you're thinking about, instead of just thinking of it as a thorn and thinking about how can I turn it, is so helpful to your mindset, right? Because it's so easy, because so many, in education, a lot of things get thrown at you pretty fast. So how always, and modeling that mindset is so important. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, just to say, if anyone has ever had the creative curriculum, you can help me turn my thorn into a rose. If you know anything I should know.
Yeah, private message, Jezebel.
Please, thank you.
Elise says a thorn is too much to do and not enough time to do it, causing a lot of stress and anxiety for me. Okay, raise your hand if you feel that way too. Yeah, so who has some ideas for Elise on things that you do? Because I think that's just like life is so full of all the things to do. So what are some strategies other people are using for that problem?
Well, I just think, I'm Robin, since we do this every day with our students, I just think you just got to take one thing at a time. You can't rush through everything. There's going to be things that are not going to get done, and you're just going to have to add them to tomorrow's things to do list. Maybe next week's things to do list. This is just life. We do teach, but we all have our personal lives too that we have to deal with in our families. So to lessen the stress, just take one day at a time with everything. What you can't do everything in one day. It's only
all we can do,
a day, right? And our day is what, 6 to 8 hours. So plus adding the traffic, right? That's another headache we have to deal with when we go home. And then you have to, when you get in the door, you want to just de-stress a little bit, right? And you got the families, kids, the dogs, other pets.
Maybe it would be, don't forget to put yourself on the list.
Right. And that's
like, you know, if you're prioritizing 3 things for that day instead of 10, do 3 things and then put something for yourself there.
Right.
What are you gonna do for yourself that day?
And Elise, to help with that, come not next Monday because we don't have a session, but the next one of SEL is all about, as a teacher, how to take care of yourself
Oh, okay.
so that you have capacity to come help your students. Because if we do not find time on that list, like Robin and Jessica were saying, we can't take care of anything. So
Well, I'm going to get a
encourage you to
haircut
come to
today.
that.
Yeah, I'm going to get a haircut today when I'm done here. So I'll be taking care of myself a little bit.
There is nothing better than a fresh haircut. Good job.
Yes.
Start the week
Good
with a
for
fresh
you.
haircut. Yeah. So part of what I would like to encourage y'all to do as we think about these things, I think a lot of times we think about what can we do with students, but all of this comes from us. It comes from us as the model. And so we have to actually be trying the things ourselves. So how could you take a journaling activity for 5 minutes that you do yourself? Just for yourself. That's not, you know, you might do it with your class or not, but that starts helping you center and finding what's the most important thing to focus on. Because you're right, Robin is right. There'll never be an end to the to-do list. They can just chisel it on the rest of it on your tombstone. It's never going away. So how are we really thoughtfully bringing in these practices? So let's see. Oh my gosh, y'all have been so busy in the chat. Thank you. Wait, one student in my classroom is having emotional difficulty, gets easily angry and refuses to do the work. Sometimes no strategies can help to calm down the student, and that is frustrating. Oh, Miriam, that is so frustrating. Yeah. And what it's like, and then they can knock off the whole rest of the class. So how do we just keep creating this environment? And Carol, I see you're off mute. Is there something you'd like to share?
No, it's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you then. All right, so there is one possibility. Now we're gonna look at another. This one goes with decision-making, responsible decision-making. And it's actually practicing and teaching how to make decisions. So as another thing that I do in life is I'm an executive function coach. So I work with a lot of teenagers in particular who don't know how to organize anything. They don't have any study skills. They don't know how to prioritize, and they cannot make decisions. So no one has taught them explicitly how. So how could we do that? And one way is through scenarios. So we're going to talk through a scenario together, and they can be done at different levels. So if the scenarios, you are at the mall with your best friend, you go into your favorite store, your best friend picks up a really cool shirt and stuffs it in her book bag. She tells you that she does it all the time and hasn't gotten caught. And you had been looking at the shirt for a couple of weeks. What do you do? All right. That is a higher level, a higher grade level thing, but we can look at it again. Here it is. If we rewrote it for first graders, you and your friend find a cute doll on a bench on the school playground. Your friend wants to keep it. You like it too. What do you do? So let's look at this template of how we can help students think through decision making. So we're going to go with the bigger kids one. You're at the mall and they're shoplifting and you're right there and you think, well, I really do want that shirt. So what is the first step is to state the problem. So what's the problem that you're having? Either come off mute and talk or put it in the chat. How would you just really quickly sum up this problem? So before we get to yeah, your friend stole a shirt. Before we get to what to do about it, we're going to go through the process. Your friend stole a shirt. And now you don't know what to do. What do you do? So what are your options? What are your options? And at this, we're not doing the moral part of should you steal or not. We're saying, what are all the possible options you have? And though teachers don't like me to say this, one of the options is to take the shirt and go, right? That's one of the options. What are some other options?
Don't you think so?
one option is to tell her that is not okay. That is not okay. Tell your friend to put it back. So there are a lot of options for that. Put it back, put it back. Okay, so one person is thinking my friend is putting me in danger by stealing. So let's think about that. One option you have is to leave if they won't put it back. Yeah, so you have options. A lot of times kids don't realize they have options. And when you're in the moment, it's harder to think of the options, isn't it? So we as adults can look at this and say, oh, that we know what we do. But the kids, we're modeling how we think it through. Well, we have all these options. So then we can think about what are the positive and negative outcomes of the option. What are the positive outcomes of taking the shirt?
Right.
You have the shirt. Okay. But what are the negative options? What could happen if you took the shirt? Arrested. Yes, Robin.
Your friend might be arrested with you too.
Yes. So thinking through the options, and one of them is, so listen, Seema says no friendship. So here's where our people get in trouble. So if this is a teenager, their higher order thinking part of their brain isn't fully developed till it's 25. So they're not thinking I'm going to get arrested necessarily. They're thinking I'm going to lose this friend. I don't want to lose this friend. So we might, if we leave, we might not have a friend. So that could be considered a negative outcome for students. So then we have to think of some factors or values. This is where we start helping people understand their own values and what's most important to them. So for each of the options that you list above, you've got to ask yourself the questions. Is this decision going to affect my health, safety, and the health, safety of others? Well, getting arrested is going to affect your safety in some way. That's very bad. So is it against the law or the rules? Will it impact others positively or negatively? And this is where you bring in, so it seems like maybe when you steal the shirt, it doesn't hurt anyone, but this is where you can talk about how it does actually negatively affect people. It may be taken out of someone's paycheck. It's coming out of the profits of this business. So they're going to struggle if a lot of people do this. So it's modeling all the different consequences. And the tricky part of this for us, when we do this, is not judging what our students are saying, but modeling and guiding. So if someone said to you, the option is to take the shirt, then I would have the shirt and I would keep my friend and they wouldn't be angry. You can't just say, no, you have to talk it through and talk about your values and what do you value in your family and your school about honesty and integrity. So that is another pretty, I'm not going to say it's super fast. It's not like rosebud and thorn, but it's something you can put in rather regularly where you have different scenarios and you're going to find them around your school. It's not going to be hard to make it up. You see them all the time in school, these different decision-making possibilities that come up. So what if we talk them through before they happen? All right, here we go. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to choose one of these sections to study more in our session. You'll have all of the resources, but we're going to spend some time looking at either self-awareness and self-management resources, social awareness and relationship resources, or responsible decision-making. And you're going to have a link to a Padlet. I'm going to put it in the chat in just a moment. And you can also see it. It will be there for you on your note catcher. But you can think about the category. You have places that if you would like to take notes on activities, benefits, or limitations of the strategies, or how you might adapt them to your grade level, please feel free to make this work in a way that makes sense to you. you're going to go to our Padlet. I'll show you what it looks like. So you can have self, you can have others, or you can have both. If you click on the image, if you're not familiar with Padlet, it will take you to the resource. So you have a lot, and then you can just use the back arrow to go back. You can look and explore these different resources. We're going to take about 10 minutes. And then at the end of that time, I will open breakout rooms so that you can go and discuss with your group ideas that you found that you thought were really cool that you want to share. All right, so you're going to explore the Padlet, which I'm putting in the chat right now. You're going to take notes on what interests you that you'd like to try. And then when my timer goes off, I'm going to put you in a breakout room. If you have a question about the directions, if I haven't been clear enough, please let me know. If not, please just mute yourself and take a moment to start. And do this for me in the chat. Put, are you going to do self, others, or both? What are you going to be researching on your Padlet today? Self, others, or both? Nice, thank you for sharing. We've got a lot of self and both so far. We'll see. Oh, we've got another's. Very nice. Repeat the assignment again, please. I'm happy to. So you're going to choose on the Padlet whether you want to look at resources for self, for others, or both, which is decision making. And you're going to take this time to explore the resources and take notes on what it is you'd like to try. And at the end of our time, you're going to go to a breakout room that I will have opened at the end in about 9 or 8 minutes and discuss what you found interesting with that breakout room. Self and both. And you will have these resources afterwards. So you will have time to look at all of them. Just today, usually we have time to explore one.
Are we in a breakout room?
No, everyone is right now individually looking at the resources on the Padlet. And then when in about 8 minutes, you'll be put in a breakout room.
Oh, the Padlet.
Yes, I will put the link in the chat again, just to make sure you have it easily. Hold on, I've lost the chat. I will find it. Oh, here it is. So right now is independent looking at the Padlet time.
I don't like touching it because, you know.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, hi,
Yeah, we're here, we're here. Go ahead.
Hello.
Okay.
we're
We
here.
How
are
are you?
here. We are independently exploring this Padlet for 4 more minutes, and then we will be in breakout rooms to discuss ideas.
Yeah, I was just reading it.
I'm sorry, Miriam, that you can't open the Padlet. I am not sure why.
You have to sign in with your DOE email address, otherwise you won't be able to open it.
Oh, thank you for that.
I didn't have to sign in with a DOE email address. I only signed in with my own personal Google account. I don't have a DOE email address.
You just have to sign in with the email address that you used to register for this class.
And yes, I just saw someone needs the note catcher again, so I'm going to put that. And then in just a moment, we're going to go and share. So even if you were able to see the Padlet, at this time, hopefully you're gonna go have a good conversation with some people who did. And they're gonna give you some great ideas, and then you'll be able to look at this. It's on the note catcher, and that will also be sent to you in a link. So that is the link to the note catcher again. Does you need permission? Hold on one second. I'm gonna put in a different link. Try this one. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna open the breakout rooms. It's really helpful if you can to turn your camera on when you're there so people know you're there. And you'll be able to, I'll open them. There'll be a button that says you can join. And your job is just to share some good ideas you saw today that you want to try, that you think that other people might be interested in. So here I go. I'm going to open the rooms. You're going to have about 8 minutes to talk, and then we're going to come back for our wrap up. So if you are not joined, please, if you're having trouble, let me know and I will try to help you. But I don't know where my tech person is today, so I may not be able to. You should see a button that asks you to join a breakout room. So I have opened the breakout rooms and you should be able to join. I won't put you in there. You have to hit the button. And as for Anthony, we're trying to join from your phone, try it and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, we'll see what we can do. All right, Angela did not get a break. Hold on, if you're not. See a couple of people who are not assigned, and I'm assigning them now.
Hi, Elizabeth.
People in the main room, if you're having trouble joining another group, you can use this room as a group and talk to each other. So I don't know if you're there or not, but if you come off mute, you can see if other people are here to talk with you. All right, our breakout rooms will be closing in just a few seconds. We will wrap up today.
Miss Caroline,
Yes.
it's my first time here. I was just wondering what was supposed to happen in the breakout room.
Oh no, that is not a good sign.
Yeah, it was quite silent.
I am so sorry. So what's supposed to happen is the people in the breakout rooms were supposed to have a discussion about information they had discovered on the Padlet for the different things that was interesting. So I'm very sorry if that did not happen in your breakout room. I know some people are having audio issues. I just think
That was the situation in our, because I was in the same breakout room and some people were typing in the chat that they were having
okay.
things going on. So it seemed like there was an issue.
I apologize for that. Technology sometimes works better than others, but the good news is at least you have the Padlet, you can look at it, you have the slides. And so I hope there were some breakout rooms where it worked and you had some great discussions. And if not, I really do apologize. This hour goes by so quickly. And there were 172 people here today. Sometimes it's hard to figure out and help everyone. So let's wrap up today and see what we can take away. And so the last thing I'd like you to think about is some goal setting for yourself. And you may do all three of these, or you may just do one, but what's one thing that you learned either in our session or your Padlet, or if your group did have a discussion, what's something you might do immediately that you could do tomorrow when you go to school? What is something you might want to try before the school year is over, which is about to happen? So, or what's something you'd like to learn more about? So just think about that. And you can share that in the chat if you'd like to. Maria, thank you for sharing that you got some good advice to try in your breakout room. So while you are putting some things in the chat you might like to try, I would just like to tell you about the other solved SEL courses. You're here on how to create the SEL classroom in 2 Mondays. So June the 6th, we will have tools for teaching and integrating SEL. And that is actually going to be focused a lot on taking care of yourself as a teacher, because you're the leader of social emotional learning. And then there is another, the importance of social emotional learning, which is more about the research and science. And that will come around again. We'll be having, I know, sessions on Chancellor's Day. We may have a summer institute, and all of these courses will be offered again next school year. And so on your note catcher, you can see where you can register for more and get information about that. And I also the last thing I ask is that you fill out a form for us, a professional development survey that helps us make these sessions better.